Mhm. Okay, not sharing the wrong thing. 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 Right. See if we get this going. Right. Cherry screen. I'm gonna have to move all this to the other window. I don't think gonna work either, is it? I apologize if anyone's watching this shit at the moment. It's not going well. Okay. If I do that and I maximize that, then if I come back to this, let's do a screen share now. Okay, finally sharing the right thing. I would say we'll cut up that, but we're streaming live. So that's brilliant. Hello, I'm Andy, by the way. This is SaaSet, an app builder, which is in beta at the moment and probably going to release everywhere next week sometime. So we're doing some final testing, trying things out. So I'm just thought I would stream the whole experience because, quite frankly, what often happens in these testing sessions can be interesting. I don't know who to, but I was hanging out with some people earlier and I was doing this and they were saying how it's just interesting to see what happens. So I'm going to do that. I will try and keep an eye on the old YouTube chat if I can. But where's that? It's over here. Let me drag that one over this side. Okay, good. So on the off chance somebody starts watching, you can say hello and I can talk to you in the chat. Um, Otherwise, there might not be a lot of talking. We're just seeing what we can build with SaaSet. So there's just a couple of things I've been working on. I wanted to get some demo apps up. Uh, so one of them is this dice game, which is quite nice. This started off as just a silly thing to build. You get 12 rolls. You only score if you throw a double. You score the value of that double. And in 12, however many rolls you've got to try and get a high score. Oh, actually, come on, we want another good double. 22, we've equaled third. How many 3 rolls left? All the tension's building. And there you go, we didn't do it. If we did, it would have given a nice confetti effect and a new high score flash up if we'd got the number 1 slot. These are, that's a silly thing built with SAS at the die roll. Um, Pick menu is another one that I would say is finished. It probably needs renaming from pick menu 4. But this actually does what it's meant to do. You can upload a menu. In fact, let's do a different menu. You can upload a menu. You can tell it how many dishes. It's detected, I think it detects how many it thinks are there. We are just going to, for saving time, we will just do 4 images. This isn't the fastest thing in the world. This is using OpenAI's GPT, one of the GPT image models. So not the fastest thing in the world, but they do give the best results. So although this takes a while to run, you'll see the results are really good. So this is just the idea here is uh, you got restaurants you work with, or you could sell the apps out to agencies. All you need is a copy of an existing menu from a restaurant, and you can then produce the images you need to make a really good looking menu. It just helps in your design work. So this could be an internal tool. This could be something for restaurants. I saw somebody else actually build one of these, and I thought, I wonder if SaaSet could do that. And that's a lot of what I'm doing at the moment with this testing is I'm seeing things built and going, can SaaSet do it? Not only did it do it, it did this in very few prompts. It had an almost working version the first time out the box. The light and dark mode was a bit squiffy. Couple of the things I didn't like, which I asked it to change. But most of the debugging was done with the standard model rather than the advanced model because it was all little tiny fixes, and I just did one at a time. So it really didn't take very long to build and get working how I wanted. And in a bit, I will build something from scratch, and you can see the whole process and how I approach it. But we can leave that running. We can come back to that and see it in a minute. We just closed down some of these. Some of these are earlier versions of the thing I was testing. So here we are. Here's SaaSet. Let's just show you around SaaSet for those of you that don't know what this is. So first of all, let's just have a quick talk about what it is from the main page of it. Build real web apps without writing a single line of code. How this came about was I've been vibe coding for a while, and I have tried to teach several other people how to vibe code. Uh, and because one of the things that I like doing is learning how to do something and then teaching people that don't have the ability. I do know how to write code. I am a coder from originally, a coder and a marketer. That's really my things. And I don't really code much myself anymore. In fact, the last few years, in fact, last almost 10 years, I've hired developers to do a lot of the things because I realized that young developers were just quicker at getting a thing done. I could have the creative vision, and that's what a lot of programmers can't do. So this led to me doing vibe coding, and I was like, this is so easy. Anyone can do this, even if you don't understand the code, as long as you know a few rules. And I've written a couple of books on it. But even those rules, it turns out, are too confusing for some people. So this has led to me actually going, okay, I've developed a couple of frameworks. Part of what lets me build things quickly is that I've got entire framework prompts I drop into AI and then ask it to build based on that framework, and it does. I do spot a few things that goes, well, I recognize what all the commonalities were. And I have friends that are also doing this kind of vibe coding. And again, these are people that have got some coding know-how. Not a problem. But people that don't, they get in and they see errors and they don't know what they are. And then they've been asked to install extra stuff. And you know how it goes. So our approach with SaaSet is that this builds everything in a single one file app. Everything is client based. And on top of that, not only does that bring you some advantages, like you completely own the stuff that you produce with this, even if you cancel a SaaSet subscription. We've got some real world examples of things that have been built and sold. So this is the honest bit here. This is important, I think. This is, I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit and make it bigger for those. There we go. Because I think this is what's important to understand where it shines and what it's not good for. You are not going to build the next Facebook. You are not going to build anything that needs, multi-user server-side stuff. It's all out of the scope of this. However, what this is good at is doing these amazing client side things. And I think people underestimate exactly how powerful a thing like that can be. A very good friend of mine has released a tool called Recon Leads, which is available in Society 11. That used to be a full-blown web app. He's now built it as a single file app. So uh, don't don't underestimate the power of what you can do with these things. So it keeps you in a framework, but it also is doing a lot of the heavy lifting for you because it knows it has a set of rules, and we stop it creating as many errors as a typical AI does because we have given it various fixed libraries that it draws code from. Now, it can write its own complete free code, but because of these built-in libraries and things, it means that we're able to get a working app pretty much first time. Sometimes you have to run a little auto fix, but even that is getting better. SaaSet is improving because this is constantly being developed. Right, let's stop yakking and actually make something, shall we? Um, I don't know if we've got anyone watching that wants to throw a suggestion in the chat. You can if you like. If not, I'm just going to make something up. I think I'm pretty much done with this. Wonder if I need to get rid of some of these now. Some of these were tests I was doing. Uh, we were testing SaaSet's ability to build apps that did image processing, and it was making the same common mistakes. So we've retrained the engine behind the scenes to definitely know how to not do those. And this is why this thing is in beta test at the moment. Um, so okay, what we will do, let's so we I've got a numerology calculator that I started doing. But rather than build on this one, because this was built on an earlier version, I can go in and continue editing. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing to stop me doing that, and the app standalone and will continue to work regardless. But I want to actually see how much better a job this does out the gate, because this one, if we go to versions, you will see that it had quite a few attempts and quite a few errors to fix as well. We did get there in the end, but it took this many things. And our usage, because some of this was done using the advanced engine, ended up, as you can see, being on the high side. I mean, it's not bad. 855 tokens is nothing for a fully working app. But we've since trained SaaSet to be better. So what I was going to do was just grab the original description that we had, and then we're going to go to generate, and we're going to have this go from scratch. Let's just double check. So I call this numerology 2.0. Build numerology report generator. User enters full name, gender, including number by date of birth, gives them a personalized report with as many of the numbers and explanations. No, I call self-contained. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's all we need to tell it. So I'm same prompt. And I'm hoping now that this doesn't take 10 bug fixes to get it absolutely working, which is what it did before. It still wasn't terrible, but we've really improved the auto fix and other parts of the engine. And remember, what you are watching right now is beta. This is a beta thing. This is not available to the public yet. It will be, it's coming out of beta. We're in the final stages. So we are still finding very minor things here and there. But we've been training the AI out of it. And it's not just me testing. There are a number of beta testers, even though SaaSet is my creation. and more fine code. No, we're using advanced mode. Advanced mode and standard. Really, if think of it this way, standard is like having a great junior coder. It's got some common sense, can think through some logic problems, but isn't necessarily going to give you the best result because he's going to just try and get the job done as quick and as efficiently as possible. Which means when it comes to things like styling, he's going to skip, he's going to just do basics. When you go advanced, the reason this uses more tokens is because what it is doing is it's number one, it's going to a deeper thinking model. Then it's splitting the job out. So if it needs an expert in CSS, it effectively calls one in. If it needs an expert coder, scripter, it does that. Expert HTML, but it does that. And also in advanced mode, if you need any creative thinking, say I like this, well, I've asked it, it's got to include all of the readings and definitions inside the app. This isn't going to call out to AI or anything. Standard would write very rubbish demo readings for the numbers. Advanced will actually have put out a thing to another bot that says, you're an expert in numerology. And so I need this, acting like that, I need this. So that's why I've used advanced mode. It also will come up with something far prettier looking right out the gate. This is looking pretty good. I know we got a syntax error there we may have to fix. It still looks like it's running. We can't fix anything in that screen, so we go into save and edit. And we have to go into edit code here, and we'll see we've got an auto fix button. And that is because it's got a validation error. SaaSet is getting better at not creating these in the first place, but they do slip through, which is why this feature is in here. Nearly anything that is just validation, you can do you should and can do it in standard mode. It's a minor fix. It's a syntax error or something to do with the actual code. Our junior coder will be able to find that. So we can just hit the auto fix button in standard mode and it will almost certainly correct that validation error. That I didn't test it instantly. That validation error may not have even mattered. The thing may well have run. It appeared in the live preview. It doesn't mean it would have worked if I'd used it. And you can't test in this live preview window down here. You either download it and run it from a browser, or you can use this button and put it on a temporary URL, which keeps updating every time you rebuild. So you can come back and view it, which is what we'll do when this has built, to show you what I mean. Mm-hmm. Okay. So built, validation passed. We can see it looks good, but it might run in this window, but it is limited because it's a frame. So what I'm better off doing is hitting the share button. Hit it one time, it generates this link. Hit it a second time, we can now open that link. So here is the thing. So enter your name as on your birth certificate. Not important for numerology, actually. What's more important is your used name. But then, who cares? I'm not even going to put in my full name. I'm just going to put in this because let's face it, probably all made up anyway. Let's go non-binary. Let's go 802 1970. There we go. And then we'll do generate numbers. Okay. And we see at the moment, we hit the button and nothing happens. I will just, in my browser, press the F12 key, which will bring up the console, because this sometimes gives a clue. Uncle in. I don't have to know what this error means, by the way, but I can just copy that. I think that's what I want. Okay, so now we can come back here. So at the moment, really, our argument, our problem is this button. When you press generate, it doesn't actually generate the report. So I'm going to start off by just telling it that in English in standard mode. Um, Pressing generate after filling in the details doesn't actually do anything. Apply changes. So it's going to try and fix that, improve the error handling, and preserve the rest of the functionality. Also, you notice how much quicker standard mode is. Not only is it using less tokens, it's a lot. It is very quick. But that's because it literally interprets the instructions and goes, okay, here's the answer, let's go. Whereas a thinking engine would really think it through. In fact, at the advanced engine would can sometimes, if anything, overthink a bug fix. I know it sounds crazy. So let's just come back over here and open the preview again. Let's just put anything in here. I don't think this really matters. So let's just do this. Let's oops. 0101 1988. Still not doing anything, right? So at this point, one other thing I will check real quick. It's unlikely, but sometimes in this preview window, because of the way we're displaying it, it can, no, it shouldn't end up. No, I'm not going to go down that route. What I'm going to do is just go back to F12 to bring up the console. I think it's the same error. So I'm just going to copy that error. Now I'm going to come back to here and I'm going to say, okay, generate button still does nothing. Browser console has this error. Oh, that's quite a long error. That's what I think. Don't know if we. Um, just before I am real quick, just going to do this because I want to just rule out it's anything to do with the framing. Yes, no. Okay. Well, in fact, what we can do is do console in this, and then we're not getting the other messages about the frame. And we can copy that console message, come back in here. We should be able to undo that, and then we can paste that one in. And now we can apply that. I'd be occasionally in advanced mode, the first thing you give it, the first build just works. I mean, there's always something you want to improve or tidy up, but as you see, as you get errors, you just describe those errors in plain English, and then it figures it out. You can give it a bit of help. What I'm doing is not technical, right? When I went into the browser console here, the standard thing, all I've done is right click and say copy. I haven't read that message. I don't know what it means. Doesn't matter to me. I just know there's an error in the console. Sometimes you have to look in one of these tabs. But nearly always in the console, there'll be something in it. It'll be an exclamation, and you go, oh, that's clearly an error. So then we give it another chance to build. Let's go back to this. Let's see if this is working now. Hey, okay. So, okay. Meaning not available for personality number, which has come out 0. So there's obviously an error in working out. It might be because I put silly nonsense in, of course. Um, interesting. It's given me an export as JSON option. Don't really want that. Let's see what export as HTML does. Nothing. So that doesn't work. So we would have to report that. And clearly, personality number. Well, it hasn't generated one, has it? So, but I can easily describe that to this thing. So let's get back here. Let's say what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop back to advanced mode, and I'm going to say, so what numbers are that's in there? Right, how do we? It also needs a go back button because there's no way of going back. You can just refresh the screen. No, it's remembered the details. So, okay, so a couple of things. So one, after generating numbers, need a way to navigate back to do a new report. Two, and this is why I think I'm going advanced mode here because I'm going to give it a few things. And one of them is that personality number. Say, make the meaning and we're going to say for remove fix export HTML so it downloads a nice looking copy of the page. So because I've given it several things, and one of those jobs is expand meanings, which the basic one isn't going to be as good at doing, and there's a couple of creativity things in there. I just do it in advanced mode, which yeah, will use more tokens, but it uses 5 times the tokens effectively. But think about this. You would give standard mode, you would probably only give it one or two of these issues at a time, and you'd probably prompt it more than once to get there. So sometimes when you're doing a lot or when you're doing anything, if all this was a series of really simple fixes, standard would be fine. But I've got stuff in here where I've asked it to do write creative writing. That's not in the scope of a coder. So advanced is a project manager, so it will pass that out to an AI that is good at that job, that is good at creative writing. So you'll notice also that it does take a lot longer when it's doing using advanced mode because it's is wait getting all this stuff and then assembling it, whatever. It's also why we quite frequently still get the odd little error because when it's joining the code piece, everything back together again, it can chop a bracket or a semicolon out when it shouldn't. Um, But at this stage in testing, we do not want to like come back from this and then immediately, if there's an error, run auto fix automatically. Uh, because I we actually, number one, we want to know when it happens, and number two, we want control. And also, if there's more than so many errors, it might be that you want to run it in advance. It's unlikely. Nearly everything that comes up for autofix can be done in standard mode, and you should always try that first. And don't forget, we've always got the option to roll back, right? It's actually doing stuff now. Oh, and it's really fucked it. Okay. Well, let's have a look at how badly screwed it is. Um, I'm just going to copy all this crap. Let's say, I'm going to say gibberish, like, oh, I should have done standard mode. Also, I should have done auto fix errors first because that probably would have fixed it. This run might be a waste of time and might make things worse because I'm an idiot and I didn't pay attention. Never mind. Do, do, do. Sorry about the blank space. I don't have much to say between. I don't know who's watching, who isn't. You can say hi in the chat. I know there is some watching. YouTube's telling me all about how I can have moderators. Yeah, like that'll become necessary. Only thing that needs moderating on here is me. Um, if you are offended by bad language, but I'd be lying if I said I was sorry. So you know, I do swear. So if that ain't for you, it ain't for you. I don't just blurt it out unnecessarily. But especially when we're testing and this gets things wrong, I think it helps to relieve the tension to tell the AI what an idiot it is. Helps me feel better anyway. Okay, how are we going? I don't need to look at any of this, but I'm curious. Let's see what we get here. Okay, oh, I thought it finished, hasn't it? It's just applying some other changes. Okay, well, there you go. It's looking better here. So there's hope. Let's come up here and go preview. Um, Still no way of getting back. Oh, there it is. New report. Right. I am actually going to make sure I put in a full name this time so that we at least give it a chance. And I'll go generate. Okay, now it's got rid of all the freaking meanings. So that's rubbish. So let's just come back a minute. I am just going to have a look and see if anywhere in here I can see meanings written. Don't let this freak you out. I know it's code, but I'm not reading code. I'm looking for like meanings that will be in a chunk of data somewhere. Because I don't know whether it's lost them or whether it's forgot to put them out or whatever. And I'm just curious myself because if it's doing silly stuff, I need to sort out the AI engine that's generating this stuff. Not seeing it in there. Whereas if we go versions, if we go back to like version 4, and this will have loads of versions difference between 4 and 6. But I wonder if there's a bunch of meanings missing. Yeah, it's lost all this stuff, hasn't it? So what I'm actually going to do in this case, I said that was probably a mistake. You will remember me saying that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to here. So that was the one that was a failure. So let's come back to this one. So we roll back and get a code. Was this the one that needed fixing? No, it wasn't. So what was wrong with this one? Let's just remind ourselves what it does. Okay, so this one needs a way of getting back. Okay, so let's try this. So go standard mode for this. Need a new report button to start over on the generation page. Remove option to download JSON. Let's just do that first, bit at a time. Sometimes it's better to fix one or two little tiny things at a time in this mode, which is probably what I should have done before. Okay, looking good. No errors there. Let's see what this looks like. Uh, let's do Command Shift Reload. Oh, I see. Right, new report. Here we go. So, Andy Brock. It's not even fully spelt right. Any old thing. There you go. Generate. Name, diddle life. So I assume this is life path number 3. Solar's number, personality number. That's got a thing in it. Okay. Export as a HTML. And that button does nothing. I'm just going to do it this way as well, just to be sure. Bob Smith. 01 1950. Right. Generate. Okay, that doesn't do anything. Not that it needs to, because you've got this anyway, but let's okay. The export HTML does not download anything. All right, just to this now. Strictly speaking, we should. Well, I don't think that's going to have made any difference, is the answer. Let's just be sure. That's really made no difference, which is interesting. Not that I think we necessarily need that feature on that page, but there you go. Ah, interesting. Anyone got anything they want me to try building? Go back to this. This is really quite. This actually is good enough to use as a demo now, I think. But probably. I mean, it's not the tidiest up here, but oh, I actually, oh, that's right. I added this in when I was demoing it earlier. I forgot I'd done that. A good point. Need to roll back. I was doing a demo for some people earlier, and I think I'm going to need to go back to there. Yeah, this looks right. I'm just going to put nonsense in here for a minute because I already don't know what they should do. Make a all right, let's just do that real quick. Oh, well, that didn't work. That's broken something. Maybe I rolled back to the wrong version. That was where. There we go. This will be the one. Yeah, there we go. So, I mean, that's a bit messy at the top. Is it important? I don't know. Uh, oh, there's placeholders not getting filled in though, which isn't correct. Might have to look at that. Well, I don't know if any of this is remotely interesting to anybody, but there you go. Oh, I will show you one more thing before I go. Just as a interesting thing. Once you've built an app in this, and you want documentation for it, this will even write the documentation for you. There you go. No, I mean it's obviously short because this app doesn't do a whole lot. And then you can download this in HTML, PDF, any of the formats that you like, and it does quite a nice job of laying them out. And obviously, for a more detailed app, you would get a more detailed manual. I think if we go back here, where's our sequence writer? Let's get documents for that if I haven't already. Mind you, there's not much on here. Fill in the gaps and it spits the thing out. So it's nice and simple. But yeah, you get instant documentation as well. And if at any time you get stuck in, you're like, I want a feature that does this. What would be the best way to do it? You can just ask AI. You can even say to AI, how else could we improve this? Uh, so there you go. And it'll even suggest this sort of thing. Anyway, I'm done for now. I just wanted to do a quickish session on here while I was playing around with it, but I need a break. So I'm gonna come off. Bye.